Hello?
Yeah.
Tia,
Hello.
can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Excellent. ठीक है, चलो.
We are live on YouTube also. Huh?
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
So you've added that post saying that we are live on YouTube. Hello?
What was going?
Tia, your voice is getting cut. I'll just drop a reminder to sir. Hello, sir. Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Hello. How
People
are you?
are still joining. I'm good. I'm good. People are still joining in. I think some people's one, two lectures are just getting wrapped up.
ठीक है, no
So
problem. We'll wait.
yeah, we'll start in 5 minutes.
Meanwhile, I will finish my
Everyone
break.
else is, I think, glued to YouTube. So
Meanwhile,
we'll start
I will finish my breakfast.
yeah, please. So we'll in another 5 minutes. Yeah.
आपने तो कॉफी भेजी नहीं, मैं खुद मंगा लेता हूँ. Hi, Ridhima. Hello. Hello, Ridhima, can you hear me?
सर एक मिनट में मैं करती हूँ, वो ध्रुव नाथ सर का सेशन है, ये कर रही हूँ, अटेंड कर रही हूँ।
Hi, Ridhima, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Acha, tell me, last time I took this session, I had taken one case. Do you remember which one? Because I forget which one. So I'll take a different case this time.
Sir, actually, no, you take the same case. That's okay, because last time there were only 3 or 4 people, because it was a final round. So
Acha.
all these people are new.
Oh, everybody is new. Okay. ठीक है.
Everybody is new. So it will actually, yeah.
Chalo, done. Done.
Hello, sir. Good morning to Professor Dhruv Nath. This is
Good
Dr.
morning.
Sucheta Pawar speaking.
Sucheta ma'am is our Dean of Center of Entrepreneurship and Innovation, sir.
Okay, okay. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Nice to see you here on this platform, sir.
So far, you can't see me. Now you can see me.
Yeah, I can see you. I was actually, I could see because of the photograph.
Ah.
Okay. Okay.
How is Bombay now? Is the storm over?
Currently, I am in US, sir.
Oh, acha, okay.
I am here and the storm is over by the look of it. But in the
Good.
morning, again, it was really windy and there was a lot of rain. So right
I mean,
now things have stopped a bit, but it's on and off. So it's not sunny yet. It's still very cloudy. And
even Delhi surprisingly is rainy.
yeah. Okay. So we are having a lot of network issues as well,
Oh, okay.
which is what quite a few people are telling me that, ma'am, we are not able to join, we are not able to see.
So do you want to postpone this to a time when all, I mean,
No, sir, they'll join. And anyway, we have also kept it on YouTube. So in
Acha.
combination, it will work.
ठीक है, done. And I can make this interactive, so I can ask questions people will be able to answer on the spot.
I think so. I think that should not be a problem.
ठीक है.
But again, I don't know who is facing what sort of issues in context to network.
So I mean, whoever can responds, it's okay.
Makes sense.
And typically these are both undergraduate and postgraduate students, right?
Postgraduate, yeah. Postgraduates will be much lesser in number because their exams are again starting on the 21st. That is
Why do you have so many exams? बच्चों को आराम करने दो ना.
Yeah, sir. क्या बोलने का अभी university brings in these timetables and we have to schedule it accordingly. So always and on and off, on and off. We are in cycle of exams at any given point in time. Once this thing is over, then the whole ATKT business will start. So it's endless. Ma'am, shall we start? Because people are joining in, so they will keep joining.
Yes, Ridhima. Yes, Ridhima.
Good morning, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all for today's session on creating successful startups. And it's a greater honor to have Dr. Dhruv Nath facilitate the same for us. Dr. Dhruv Nath is an angel investor. He is a professor of management and a startup mentor. He has years of experience in various aspects of entrepreneurial growth and development. His book, titled Funding Your Startup and Other Nightmares, is a testament to the same. I'm also excited to mention that Sir is generous enough to give signed copies. So anybody who wishes to get a signed copy of the book, please get in touch with me after the session. Just drop me a message on the group that we have made for the same purpose. And I will see to it that we get connected to Sir and figure the whole thing out. So with this very short introduction, let me welcome Sir once again. And Sir, we are really excited to have you here with us and we look forward to your talk.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ridhima.
Sir, again, I'm switching off my audio and video because my network I get thrown out otherwise because of the lower bandwidth.
Oh.
But I'm here. So if you call out to me, I'll be here.
Done. Yeah. Okay. Good to see all of you, young people. I must tell you that, yes, I have spent a lot of time with startups and I find it a lot of fun. I learn a lot. In fact, I typically learn much more from the startups that I mentor than they learn from me. And I hope even today, from all of you guys, I would be learning a lot, right? So welcome all of you. So what I'll do is I will just share with you. See, I have been a professor for the last 19 odd years. Before that, I used to work in the IT industry for 20 years. So because I'm a professor, you know, one of the things that every professor is a master of is creating PPTs. So I've created PPTs and I will share with you a couple of PPTs today. Okay. And by the way, let's make this an interactive session. So please feel free to ask me questions, interrupt me anywhere in between. Okay. Also, if the bandwidth that you guys have is okay, I would like to see some of you, or at least, or hopefully all of you, because right now it looks as though I'm talking to a blank screen. Yeah, good. Finally, I can see a few people. Abhay, I can see. Good. Abhay has recently had a haircut. Okay, so even the others, please show me your faces. Let's try and make it an interactive session. All right. So I'll just share with you. Just hold on. Okay, good. Now I can see lots of you. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Abhay, can you see my
Yes, sir.
screen?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, we can.
So Jitendra is walking. I don't know why he's walking. यार बैठ जाना एक जगह. Anyway, so what I will just share with you is a couple of stories, and these are stories from startups that I have been involved in, right? And they're real startups. All the stories I have are actual real stories. So I'll do two things. I will share with you, depending on time, two stories, two startups. One which succeeded and one which failed, right? And what I will also do is I will tell you that, you know, these are stories which are picked up from my book, which your Professor Ridhima Mahabal mentioned. And that's the book, Funding Your Startup and Other Nightmares. Right? So this book is actually based on all my experiences in investing in startups as well as mentoring them. Right? So let me start with the first story. And by the way, I have taken a session like this earlier with you guys, with some people from your institute. But I just spoke to Ridhima and she said I should take the same case again. So I'm taking the same case again. So this is a case about, just hold on. It's a case about a very interesting startup called Squirrel. Okay. And by the way, this is not a spelling mistake. This is the way the founder wanted to name it. So I'll tell you what he was trying to do. You know, if you ever watch squirrels in action, and if you sit in a park with your boyfriend or girlfriend and you have nothing better to do than, you know, watch these silly squirrels in action, you will notice that they are collecting food. And some of the food they eat and some of the food they save. And the reason why they save is they know that there will be situations where food will not be available, for example, in the monsoons in Bombay, or, you know, in the snow, in the winter in cold countries, in the Western countries. So they save. Now, if you look at human beings, they also need to save, correct? Although it's not money, it's not food, it is money. Okay. So there is a fundamental problem with saving. Fundamental problem, right? And the problem is far too many temptations. You know, tomorrow, if I think somebody needs to mute. I don't know who it is. Preeti, I think you need to mute because there is some kind of animal in the background. I don't know what animal. Some animal. Yeah, thanks.
Sorry, it got unmute.
Don't worry. No problem. No problem. Unmute yourself when you want to interrupt or ask a question or answer. No problem. Okay. So, you know, if tomorrow Royal Enfield comes out with a brand new motorbike, right? I'm sure all the boys over here would run to buy it, right? And to hell with saving. Similarly, let's say there's a great new movie in town, okay, starring Ranveer Singh. So I'm sure all the girls here would rush to watch the movie, have popcorn, have that flat, tasteless Pepsi, and maybe after that go out to dinner, right? And again, you've blown up money, and to hell with saving, right? So the problem is there is far too much temptation, and therefore saving normally doesn't happen. Okay. So what the founder of this company did was he says, okay, let me go back to my grandmother's time to try and see how she used to save. And if you go back to your grandmother's time, you would notice that she would have had something like this. Okay, mittika. And this is typically, at least in the north, and my guess is also in the west, it is called a gullak, right? And it has a little slot here where you can put in money, coins, notes, whatever you want. So how does this work? So let's say your grandmother buys sabzi. Incidentally, I assume all of you are comfortable with Hindi. There's nobody who's deep down south and therefore can't understand Hindi at all. Is that okay? If you want, I
Yes,
can
sir.
speak. If you want, I can speak Bombaya Hindi also.
Yes, sir.
Bombaya Hindi भी बोलने का है.
चलेगा.
अच्छा, ठीक है, good. So I mean, Bombay has been part of my territory for many years. That's why I picked up some of the local languages. Anyway, so you know, let's say she buys sabzi from the sabzi wala worth 9 rupees 80 paise. Now, please remember, in today's time, you will not get any subsidy for 980, but I'm talking of your grandmother's time, right? Where you could get a hell of a lot for 980. So she gives a 10 rupee note and she gets 20 paise back. And that 20 paise change goes into this little slot in the gullak, and therefore it is saved. And you cannot open this gullak, you can only break it. So therefore it is saved. Correct? Similarly, she spends, let's say, 14 rupees 70 paise. That 30 paise change goes into the slot and is saved. Okay, so that's how the gullak works. Now, the founder, by the way, his name is Samant Sikka. The founder realized that there was one fundamental reason why this method of saving used to work with your grandmother. And that fundamental reason was that this was painless. And why is it painless? Because, you know, if you spend 9 rupees 80 paise and you're asked to spend 20 paise more, it doesn't hurt you. It's not painful. Nobody is asking you to save 100 rupees. People are saying you spend 980, just save the rest, the balance change, which is 20 paise. No problem, right? So it's painless. What he said was, okay, what I will do is I will automate this gullak and I'll create an app out of it. Okay. So, so he created an app, right? Now, how does it work? So you download the app, and by the way, you can download it right now or after the session if you want. Although I don't think it's available on iOS, it's available on the Android phones. Now, you know, every time you spend money, now you can spend money using a credit card or a debit card, or you issued a check, or it could be online banking, UPI, Paytm, whatever, any method of spending. You will get an SMS, correct? Which could be either from your bank or from somebody like Paytm, whoever owns your wallet, right? What you have done when you registered with Squirrel, when you downloaded the app and registered with Squirrel, what you've done is you have given Squirrel permission to access these apps, only these apps, right? Now, please remember one thing important. Where is Abhay? Abhay is there. Abhay, you have a girlfriend?
No, sir.
Okay. So what is her name?
Sir, I don't have a girlfriend.
Okay. So let's assume you have a girlfriend. And by the way, I want you guys to be honest right now. So anyway, if you had a girlfriend, what would her name be?
Sir, I never had a girlfriend.
Okay. So her name would be, who's the current heartthrob? Alia. Okay. So her name is Alia. So now let's assume there is a hell of a lot of, lovey-dovey SMSs going back and forth between Abhay and Alia. But Squirrel will not see that. Squirrel doesn't care. Sorry? Somebody's got a girlfriend, is it? I just heard the girlfriend. So, please remember, Squirrel doesn't care two hoots about Abhay's love life or Jitendra's love life or Aniket's love. It doesn't care. It says, boss, मेरे को सिर्फ यही देखना है कि तूने spend कितना किया. ठीक है? So please remember, your love life is entirely private. So the app will access all your spending every time you spend. At the end of the week, it will total up the amount you spend, and it will round it up to the nearest 100 rupees, and that rounding up amount is saved. So for example, let's say in the week, you have spent 1,260 rupees. Squirrel will add 40 rupees to make it a round figure of 1,300, and that 40 rupees is saved. So you have spent it, but you've not spent it, you've saved it. Okay, so it's working exactly the same way as the gullak, except for one huge advantage, which is that this is automated. The gullak was manual. So your grandmother, on the day that she wanted to cheat, she could say, nahi, aaj bachane ka nahi hai. Right? But you can't do that because you've given permission to Squirrel, and therefore it will automatically get saved. Okay, so that's the way it works. Now, the fundamental question which the founder, in fact, there were three founders. The founders of Squirrel wanted to answer was, can they charge for this? Will people be willing to pay for this? Okay. And they realized, no, nobody is going to be willing to pay for simply helping them to save. But they said, okay, what we will do is, once we've got these guys on board and it's free, the saving is free, now we will offer them other financial products such as buying insurance, taking a loan, investing in mutual funds, financial planning, etc., and we will charge for this. So essentially, the saving is only one of the methods of getting people onboarded. After that, Squirrel would charge for all the other services, and that's how they make money. And that's their business model. Okay. So that is the Squirrel story. Now, what I will do is I will share with you something that I call a framework. And I call it the persistent framework. By the way, all this is from the book, right? So the persistent framework is given in the book. And essentially, this is a framework that we guys, the authors, have tried to develop after studying a very large number of startups, both failures and successes. So based on what we studied, we said, okay, the people who are successful seem to be following the persistent framework, and those who are not successful seem to be missing out somewhere, right? So we've created this framework, and I will just share with you this framework, and we will try and analyze the Squirrel business using this framework, right? And please interrupt me in case you want. For example, Abhay can interrupt me if he suddenly remembers the name of his girlfriend, which I'm okay with. So each letter of this framework stands for something. Okay. So the first letter is P, problem. Are you solving a problem for somebody? Because if you're not solving a problem for somebody, you cannot be successful, right? Now, clearly these guys were solving a problem because I'm solving a problem for somebody, is it? I don't know who. Please mute yourselves because there's somebody who's shouting in the background. Yeah, please request. Okay. So they were clearly solving a problem because they were helping people to save, and they were also helping them to buy financial products like mutual funds, like invest in funds, like doing financial planning or taking a loan, and so on and so forth. Right? Secondly, do you have an earnings model? Which means not only are you solving a problem, but is that guy willing to pay you? Because if he doesn't pay you, you don't have a business, isn't it? You can't survive on a charity. So clearly, people were not willing to pay for saving, but they were willing to pay for the other products. And therefore, these guys had a good, solid earnings model. Third issue, size of the market. Very important because, if you have a tiny market, you can't grow. You'll stagnate at some stage, right? So ideally, if you're creating a startup, you should have a market which is very large in size. Okay. Now, if you look at these guys, the market size potentially is huge, isn't it? It's absolutely huge because you're talking of the entire middle class of India, which is how much? About 35 crores, which is higher than the population of any other country except China. So it's a huge market. However, there is one fundamental problem. Sometimes your market is very crowded. Now, here I want to ask you guys, what does that mean? What's a crowded market? And please show me your faces. I mean, most of you are again hiding yourselves. Please show me your faces and give me your names. What do you do if the market is crowded? Tell me. And what's a crowded market? What does it mean? Aniket, क्या खा रहा है?
Sir, the crowded market would be.
नहीं, पहले अनिकेत क्या खा रहा है? हमको भी दे यार. ब्रेकफास्ट. अच्छा, ठीक है.
अभी तक वो एक्चुअल में चालू नहीं हुआ.
ठीक है. हाँ जी. Okay. Who said that?
Crowded market means multiple buyers and multiple sellers at the same time.
Yeah, multiple sellers. That means there are already lots of people offering the same services. Correct? So here, if you look at the kind of services these guys offer, which is you can buy mutual funds through us, you can take insurance through us, you can, take a loan through us, etc., etc. That's a hugely crowded market. Lots of people already doing it and lots of big guys already doing it. Can anybody name some of these big guys who are already doing this?
Policy Bazaar.
Perfect. Badhiya. So Policy Bazaar, Abhay said. Who else? Anybody else?
Phone Pay.
Phone Pay is a payment company. This is not a
Sir,
payment
in
company.
that app, they are also offering insurance policies.
Okay. Badhiya. ठीक है. Paytm money.
Motilal Oswal.
Sorry, which one?
Motilal Oswal.
Motilal Oswal, yes. They allow you to invest. Somebody mentioned Policy Bazaar, Paisa Bazaar, Bank Bazaar, right? ET Money, Zerodha. There are a huge number of these players and they're all large. Squirrel is a startup, it's a small company, right? So the problem is you find it's very, very difficult to survive and compete with too many companies, especially if they are large guys. And that's what I mean by problem with a crowded market. So now what these guys decided to do was, and that's a recommendation that we have as part of our persistent framework. If you have a crowded market, अनिकेत खाना बंद कर दिया, खा ले यार, खा ले, मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, मैं भी खा लेता हूँ यार फिर. Okay, so if you have a crowded market, right, try and identify a subset of that market which is not crowded but which is large enough. Okay, because then you're not competing with anybody else. You're hopefully either on your own or there aren't too many people in that market. So now let us look at this example. If you look at people and you try and do an age-wise categorization, people above the age of 25 normally will be investing, they'll be buying mutual funds, they will be taking loans, they will be taking insurance policies, etc., right? Because as you grow older, you will have a family, you will have dependents, and therefore you will need to take insurance products, etc. But people who are younger, so let's say all of you guys, in the age group of 18 to about 25, right? People in college or in their first job, they don't take any of these, they don't take insurance, they rarely take loans, they do not invest, right? So these large companies like Zerodha, Motilal Oswal, Paisa Bazaar, Policy Bazaar, they are not interested in these guys because they are not their target segment. So what Squirrel said was, okay, we will only aim at guys in the age group of 18 to 25, youngsters. And that is not a crowded segment and that is large. That itself, you're talking of what, about 10 crore people? It's a huge market, right? So when you have a crowded market, especially if it is large guys in the crowded market, it is not a good idea to enter and compete directly with them. You can't survive, right? So therefore identify a subset, and I will call that subset a niche market, right? But it has to be a large enough niche. So in this case, it's youngsters in the age group of 18 to roughly 25. Okay. So that's what they did, and which is why they are not, competing head on with these big guys. Okay, next question, scalability. Can somebody tell me, and okay, most of you have again hidden yourself. I can only see 4 people. Please show me your faces. All those boys who are in a banyan need not show me their faces, but everybody who's decently dressed, please show me your faces, right? Okay, so tell me, anybody, what is scalability and how is it different from size of the market?
Sir, scalability means at a particular point of time, am I capable of providing services to as many people as possible?
Okay,
Or
good.
constantly increasing the my market share?
Good, बहुत बढ़िया. You get a chocolate. Which one? Kit Kat, Dairy Milk.
Anything would do.
तेरी गर्लफ्रेंड को कौन सी पसंद है? मैं तेरे
I
को
don't
दो.
have.
अरे
I
यार
don't
तू
have.
झूठ क्यों बोलता है? अच्छा नहीं, ठीक है. चलो Kit Kat. Okay. So okay. So scalability. I will just add one word to what Abhay just mentioned, which is, can you grow? See, size of the market tells you how big the market is, right? So in this case, it's about 10 crore people, youngsters in India, middle class youngsters. Scalability means how rapidly can you grow within that market. How fast can you grow? And the reason why I'm saying that is, why is it so important? Because if you don't grow fast, please remember there'll be lots of other guys who have the same idea. They will grow fast. Potentially, they will come into your market and kill you. All right. So it's very, very important for a startup to grow rapidly. And that's why it's important to be scalable. Okay. Now, let me ask you a very simple question. How scalable is, sorry, 1 minute. Yeah. How scalable is Squirrel? And let me take a parallel. Or let me ask you this question first. Is it a scalable business? Can they grow rapidly, or is it a non-scalable business?
Yes, sir, it is a scalable business and they can grow rapidly. They can like create a system, a referral based system or some type of system due to which they can attract a higher number of customers.
Okay, great. It is scalable. Anybody else? Why is it scalable? There is one very specific thing I'm looking for. Why is it scalable?
As it is a software based product.
Yes, who said that?
Oh, sir, I said that.
Abe, okay. Bahut badhiya. So just to give you a parallel, if you look at the Infosys business, right? And let's look at Infosys when they were an early startup. Infosys was not a scalable business. Even today, it is not. They have grown, but they have not been able to grow rapidly. What is rapidly? Rapidly means, can you grow 5 times, 10 times in 1 year? Can you grow 50 times in 3 years? Infosys cannot. And you know why? What's the big reason? Because Infosys is a manpower dependent business. If they have to grow 5 times, they have to add 5 times the number of people. Then they have to add 5 times the amount of infrastructure, 5 times the number of buildings, right? Cumbersome, complex, not easy. Okay, so they have been growing, but typically they've been growing at about 20, 25, 30% per year. That's not what a startup wants to do. Startup wants to zoom, isn't it? So Infosys is a manpower and infrastructure based business, and therefore it is not very scalable. This one, Squirrel, is hugely scalable because it's essentially a digital business, not manpower dependent. You want to grow 5 times, all you have to do is spend much more on marketing, isn't it? You'll get more people, whether you do it through referrals or Facebook ads or Google AdWords or whatever you do. Okay, so please remember, digital business is very highly scalable, and therefore so is Squirrel. Okay, and incidentally, as you will notice, I'm picking up 1 letter at a time from this persistent model. Okay, so I've picked up 5 letters. Take the next one, risks. See, every business has risks, all kinds of risks. And one of the risks that you face, any business faces, is the risk of a competitor entering and killing you. Okay. So what you need to do is what you need to have ideally is what I call an entry barrier. Entry barrier kya hota hai? This is my business. Okay. This is my competitor, right? I have to do something within this business so that it creates a barrier for my competitor to enter my business. I have to create a barrier for my competitor. Don't let him enter my business, or make it tougher. There is no foolproof entry barrier, but at least try and make it tougher. For example, if you have an innovative solution like a patent, right? Patents are, you can't copy, right? Because they are legally protected. That's a very good entry barrier. Or if you've created a software platform and you've taken several months to do it, then the other guy will also have to take that many months to develop a similar platform. And therefore, you are at least a few months ahead, right? So you have an entry barrier of about 6-7 months. Okay. Now, question is, what is the kind of entry barrier in Squirrel? Is it a good solid entry barrier? Is it a weak entry barrier? Anyone tell me. And by the way, let's have some of the girls also answering. So far, it's only been the boys. Who are the girls? Mayuri, Shreya, Clarita, Shrishti, Kajal. Come on. Preeti? Tell me. Anyone? No girls? Okay, boys? Is it a strong entry barrier? Is it a weak entry barrier?
Sir, it is a
Can
weak
they?
entry barrier because anyone can create this kind of software within few months, and the
बहुत
bigger
बढ़िया,
companies
बहुत बढ़िया,
definitely they'll enter the
बहुत
market.
बढ़िया. तेरे को 2 और chocolate. बहुत बढ़िया. Wonderful. So, actually it's a very, very easy to copy business. It's a low entry barrier. Over time, what happens is, the brand becomes a bit of an entry barrier because people start knowing Squirrel. They say, okay, Squirrel seems to be a good place to park your money. They help you. It seems to be a decent company, and they will tell their friends, "Yaar, tu bhi join kar le." Right? So the brand, the trust becomes a bit of an entry barrier, but it is still low. This business essentially has a low entry barrier. So it's even more important for Squirrel to scale and become large. Incidentally, entry barriers normally ramp up over time. So I must tell you, one of the weaknesses of the Squirrel model is their lack of entry barrier. And that is a weakness of anybody in this business. Right? Okay, so I've talked about 8 of these things. I will talk about 2 more and complete the persistent model. Team. And the team, by the way, starts with the founders. Or the founder, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3. There is a saying that we have in the world of startups, which is, if you have an average business model, but a great founder, he'll figure out a way to make it work. Right? He'll keep changing, he'll keep pivoting the business model, he'll make it work. But if you have a great business model with an average founder, nahi chalega. It won't work. Right? So team becomes extremely important. And here, by the way, they are very solid guys, very solid, experienced guys. Okay, what's the final proof? You may have a great earnings model, wonderful size of market, scalability, entry barrier, patents, vagera, vagera, etc., etc., etc. So what is the final proof of the business being good? Anyone? What is the final proof?
Making money.
Absolutely. Abhay. Where is the money? Where is the revenue? Or if you're not making revenue initially, because some companies don't, for example, WhatsApp has not been making money, but at least they have a huge number of users. So at some stage, they can start using that user base to make money, right? So where is the traction? Either number of users or money. Are you getting growth month on month, solid growth? Are you getting growth quarter on quarter, right? So that's your final proof. In very simple terms, in Hindi, dhanda ka hai. You may have a great business model, great founder, boss dhanda ka hai, right? So this is the persistent framework, and this is what we would suggest any startup founder or potential founder uses to analyze his or her business. And by the way, investors also use the same thing. Okay, I want to just mention one other point here. Persistent is not only a framework, it's also an English word, right? It means what? Keep on and on at it. Because, if you want to create a startup, you can't give up. There'll be all kinds of problems, all kinds of government regulations. Suddenly the RBI will bring in new regulations. SEBI will bring in new regulations, right? There'll be privacy issues, vagera, vagera, etc., etc. You got to keep on at it. That's the only way, right? Finally, before I conclude this first story, if you are looking at money for your startup, if you're looking at investors to put in money, right, and to buy shares of your company, your startup, what will the investor look for? What does he look for before putting in money?
Initial recovery of investment.
Yeah, but how does he know he will recover his investment? What is it that he look for today so that he expects to recover it?
Sir, generally investors bet on the team and the business model and their niche of expertise.
बहुत बढ़िया. Team,
And
expertise, business model, very good.
sir, the scalability of the business. Is the business
Scalability, very good.
scalable 20 to 30 times within 2 to 3 years.
Great. What else? Anybody? Anything else? Sorry? Anything else? Anybody? No? Okay. So if you look at what Abhay has just said, and I'll add 2-3 things to that, that's what you get. The investor wants to see you solving a problem. He wants an earnings model. He wants traction. He wants a market size which is large. He looks at the team. In fact, we say that at an early stage, the team is probably, the founders are more important than the business itself, right? He looks for traction. He looks for entry barriers. So he looks at the persistent model. Right? So both the investor and the founder ultimately want the same thing. Agreed? Okay, so that completes my first story. I will just stop sharing for a minute. Yeah, what is the time?
Guys, sir, just a minute. Mayuri, Sushmita, what has happened to you girls? Why you are not participating? I'm
Yeah,
really
exactly. I don't
surprised.
know. I've just texted them also, maybe to check if there's some issue with the network or whatever.
Yeah,
And the
exactly.
video also, I don't know. Okay, someone
I
is
think
typing because earlier one girl had typed and she said, "Ha, Sushmita is typing." Earlier also she had typed, "Yes, sir." She's written network issue. Okay, no problem.
no. I think the reason is different. The girls don't want to eat chocolates because it is young girls normally like to maintain their figures. So I can understand. The boys are very happy to eat chocolates. Okay, you'll get them. Okay, so if I have time, I'll take one more chota case, and this one, by the way, is a failure. So I've taken one success story, and I'll take one failure. Right? So just hold on. So let me just share my screen again. Okay, can you see this? Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay,
We
great.
can.
So this is, I've changed the name because when it's a failure, it is not fair to use the original name. The original name, by the way, was called For My Shadi, formyshadi.com. Okay, it is closed down now, but I've changed the name to Wet Gift. So let me explain the background. Okay. So firstly, what is the problem with weddings? Right now, married people. I'm married, and I suppose at least 2-3 of the faculty members here are married. Married people, I'm sure, would say the problem with the wedding is the wedding itself, the fact that you're getting married, right? But I don't want to get into that. That's a controversial topic. We will take another webinar on that later. But the one fundamental problem which is there in every wedding is what? Unwanted wedding gifts. ठीक है ना? हमारी जब शादी हुई थी, at that time, that was about more than 30 years ago. At that time, one of the most popular wedding gifts was, a Borosel carafe, that glass thing in which you would make coffee or whatever, right? And everybody said, "Boss, इनको तो शादी हो रही है, इनको Borosel carafe दो." So we got 6 of them. ठीक है? एक चल जाएगा, 2 शायद चल जाए, 6 काम क्या करेंगे, right? So the problem is, A, it is unwanted, and B, you get repeats. So everybody will give you a bed cover. You get 8 bed cover. What the hell will you do? Bed 8 bed cover क्या करोगे आप? Correct? So what happens, when you get these unwanted gifts, what do you normally do with them? Abhay is smiling, so he knows the answer. Now, let me ask one of the girls, please. One of the girls, this you must
Give it
tell.
to somebody else. Give it to somebody else in their wedding.
Absolutely. Who said that?
Preeti.
Preeti, absolutely. Give it to somebody else. So you get a bad name, and the other guy now gets the unwanted gift, right? So there is a huge industry of unwanted gifts circulating all over the damn place. Okay. Now, there is actually a solution for this. And it's a very common solution in the Western world. America, Europe. ये क्या हो रहा है? Somebody is asking for a wedding gift, is it? Okay. Preeti, you are the first girl who spoke, so you'll get a chocolate as well. And by the way, all the boys who spoke will also get a chocolate. Okay. So what happens is there is a portal, a website. Okay. And that is called a wedding gift registry. So what happens is the couple that is getting married, what they do is the portal, this wedding gift registry, it has a lot of uh, possible gifts, okay, which you can buy from that wedding gift registry, from that portal. And what the couple who's getting married will do is before the wedding, they will register on this registry, and out of the items that are available, they will select those which they want. Okay? So they may want, let's say, one pressure cooker, they may want 3 bed covers, they may want, let's say, 1 Borosil carafe, they may want 1 dinner set, 1 tea set, etc., etc. Right? So what they will do is they will now put up these gifts that they want, and today, in today's environment, in fact, for quite some time, a lot of the wedding cards are now e-cards, right? So in the e-card, you'll put in a link to the URL of the wedding gift registry, that page for this couple. Okay, so the every guest who receives that e-card follows that link, goes to this gift registry, and figures out, okay, these people want, let's say, a dinner, a tea set. I'll buy this tea set, and it is available on the gift registry. And the important thing here is that if somebody's bought a tea set, then that is no longer available to the other guests, right? Then they have to get something else. So duplication is also avoided. Of course, there are some frills involved. Ultimately, what happens is, these are wedding gifts, right? So the company, the startup, has to gift wrap it, not in, those brown, horrible looking Amazon cardboard cartons, right? And you'll have a card on that, you'll have ribbons, flowers, and finally it will be delivered together on a date specified by the couple. Okay? Could also be very exotic gifts. For example, a cruise on the Mediterranean. Now, if one guest cannot afford it, you can share. So 10 friends together can say, okay, between us, we are sending you on a Mediterranean cruise, right? Which is possible. And normally cruise means 2 people, right? If it's a wedding, you won't send 1 person. So this is the concept of a wedding gift registry. And what WedGift said was, it's uncommon in India, therefore we will bring it to India. Okay. Now, tell me one thing. Obviously, the people who put up the list of gifts is the couple that is getting married. But who are the guests who are likely to use it? Tell me.
So very close family and friends might use it.
Very close family and friends.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Valid. Anybody else?
People using internet.
People on the internet. Yes. Typically, it will be younger people, right? Friends of the couple, right? Because elders, normally in India, the tendency is to give cash, right? To take care of wedding expenses, because Indian weddings are very, very expensive affairs, right? So that is unlikely to change, but the youngsters are more likely to. Okay. And the good thing is it is spread through referrals, because let's say one couple gets married and 30 friends see this, they find it's a great concept. When those 30 people decide to get married, they will also use the same concept. Okay, so therefore, referral based marketing becomes a very common method of doing this. Okay, I just want to do a quick analysis. I've left out 3 things deliberately, but I just want to check up the others. You have seen the persistent model. Are they solving a problem?
Yes, sir. They are solving a
Sure.
problem.
Unwanted gifts. Is there an earnings model?
Yeah, because they are selling through their portal.
Perfect. And they will make a commission. They will make a percentage on anything they sell. Is there a large market size?
Definitely, considering
Yeah.
the population of India, it is.
बहुत बढ़िया यार. अबे तू पूरा कार्टन ले ले चॉकलेट का. I'm getting tired of sending you one chocolate at a time. And incidentally, I've already sent 3 cartons to your professor Ridhima. So please take it from her. Make sure she doesn't eat.
Really?
You
I look
haven't got
forward
it?
to it.
Oh, you haven't got it?
No,
I
they
sent-
will not. They will not reach the students. They might just remain with me.
That is
All the cartons.
that is what I'm warning them about. Okay. So yeah. Is it an innovative solution?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because it's a great idea. It's a great way to. There are some cultural issues also, by the way, but let's keep them aside. In fact, one of the big cultural issues is that the grown-ups in the family may object, right? For example, I mean, this, by the way, this story again came out in my book. So you can imagine a mother asking her daughter, see what is happening here. The cultural issue is effectively you're asking people for a gift. In the American environment, in the British environment, it's expected. And therefore, rather than getting a useless gift, you ask for it. You tell them, boss, I want this. But in the Indian environment, you can imagine a mother telling her daughter who's about to get married, who's created this gift registry, hi, to gift mangegi, right? And if it's a Punjabi family, I can speak a little bit of Punjabi. What will she typically say? Naak katwaegi sadi. Meri naak katwaegi. Hamari naak katwaegi. Matlab all our relatives will feel कि gift मांग रहे हैं. शर्म आनी चाहिए तेरे को, right? So there is a cultural issue, but let's keep that aside because this session is not on culture. This session is on startups, right? So it's a scalable model. Yes. Why? There's no manual involvement, isn't it? Except for packaging of the gift. And you can outsource that. Not a problem, right? Very good team, by the way. Very, very good team. Extremely experienced lady. Very experienced. And she really knew the business well, right? And the niche is what? The younger people, right? So you're not aiming at, let's say, grandmothers and grandfathers. You're aiming at friends of the couple. Where they got messed up, and I told you it was a failure, where they got messed up was this: entry barrier and risks. Why? Tell me, anyone. Isn't it easy for Amazon to copy this?
Yes, definitely.
Or Flipkart, or Mukesh Ambani, or the Tatas who have now bought over Big Bazaar, right? So, in fact, the entry barrier is very, very weak. Amazon, Flipkart had already got into it, except that, they were not doing fancy packaging, but I think today even that has started. It's very easy for them to get in, right? Provided they see a large enough business. The second thing is that Amazon, you cannot compete with Amazon on price. Because Amazon gets huge discounts from its vendors, right? Gift is a very small company. They will not get these discounts. So the same item bought on Gift will be much more expensive than if you were to buy it on Amazon. So that's a problem, right? And therefore, there's another problem. The guest comes to Gift. In fact, we saw this happening. The guest comes to Gift, identifies what the couple wants, then goes to Amazon and buys it 20% cheaper. So while it's a good discovery platform, it doesn't make money. Okay. And that's the problem. And therefore, these guys, they had no entry barrier. They couldn't compete with these large guys. Finally, they had almost no traction. And therefore, the business closed down. They couldn't get any money. They couldn't get any funding. And the one key message I want you guys to take away: never get into a business where you're competing with a huge guy. There are lots of people who come to me and say, look, I have an e-commerce business, but sir, it's very unique compared to Amazon. Oh, boss, the moment it is a little big, Amazon will just throw you out of the window. You can't compete with them. Similarly, you can't compete with Make My Trip. So never get into a business where you have a huge potential competitor. Okay. So that is the story of wed gift. And just give me 1 minute. I'll stop sharing. Just hold on. Have I stopped sharing already?
I had a question. Here.
Just 1 minute.
Yeah.
You might just hold on. I will just give you this link. Is this a chocolate question?
No, no. It's
Okay.
related to this particular business.
Okay. Just 1 minute. So by the way, anybody who wants to pick up the book, I've just given you the link over here. And or I mean, you can let Professor Ridhima Mahabal know. I'll be very happy to sign. Incidentally, I do come to Bombay, except COVID has prevented me right now. But I'm very happy to sign in Bombay and send it to you and to meet you guys when I come. Yeah. Anji,
We
now
look
you have a
forward to
question. Yeah.
Yes. My question was, their business talks about a wedding registry, right? And if I want to gift to the bride, then I have to register and then pick whatever she wants, the whole UK model, like you said. But in India, whether we accept gifts or not in a wedding, we definitely are mandated to give stuff. Because this whole Nak Katwana is also deeply related to giving things in a wedding. And that has multiple ranges and there are multiple aspects to it. And lo na lo, dena to hai hi. So in a way, isn't that ulta in that sense registry? That
So okay. You're right. So देना तो है ही, but मांग नहीं सकते हैं.
So my point
is embarrassing.
Correct. So my point is, can't there be like a one-stop spot where you get those standard things which are given in terms of gold, in terms of, or an aggregator where all such stuff can be available on one certain platform. तो अगर मुझे समझो वो senior members को कुछ चांदी का देना है, बर्तन वर्तन type, to the younger generation I want to give dress material, to even younger I want to give something. So I just go to that one place instead of going on Amazon and searching 10 different things. I go to that one place, pick dhanadan, bulk buy, and just courier it away to all those people. My jhamela is over. So rather than, won't that work? Is my point.
So that's an interesting idea. So by the way, for that, you can take 2 chocolates out of the carton I have sent you, right? For yourself. Yeah. So you're right. That's an interesting thought. So essentially, what you're saying is it is a shop for all wedding gifts. Online shop for all kinds of wedding gifts.
Yeah, and with standardization, because I know this because in our this thing in Maharashtra, at least in Maharashtrian families, we know for sure that सीनियर जो लोग होते हैं दादा दादी कैटेगरी उनको क्या टाइप का देना है यंगर को क्या देना है इसमें क्या देना है वो देना ही पड़ता है दैट इज वन एंड सेकंड इज दैट you know, nowadays it is so confusing what to give to somebody because of the number of things available on Amazon. It's actually become ulta because of the number of things available. No one wants to sit and invest that kind of time searching for that correct thing, so people give cash कि शादी में वो जो कुछ वो टिपिकल चांदी का एक बर्तन दिया बाकी सबको कैश दे दिया कि भाई तुमको जो लेना है तुम लो. But the problem is, now this is what my mother keeps saying, कि giving cash is very practical and that's why people do it and that's okay, but it feels very impersonal, you know. So वो effort भी दिखना चाहिए, वो useful भी होना चाहिए, वो रीति के हिसाब से भी होना चाहिए. The matching these three aspects is a big jhamela. So there, don't you think something like this will make sense कि उल्टा लेने के बजाय देने का?
Okay, so very interesting. So by the way, the next session in this webinar series will be taken by Professor Mahabal on the subject of weddings because she's an expert. You can just see that.
I'm getting married on 4th of June. I'm going through it.
Wonderful. Then
I'm going through it.
Then I will not send you chocolates. I will send you what? What do you want?
No, sir, it's okay. It's become a headache. This buying gifts and giving it to people has become like a big headache. What to give to who?
This is nothing compared to the headache you will have after you got married. Let's keep that. Let's not discuss that right now.
And actually, sir, had a website like this existed, I would have been a very happy person because especially in COVID, because people can't come. It's like, अरे कोई आ नहीं सकता तो उनको टोकन तो ये तो देना ही पड़ेगा, ये देना भी पड़ेगा, like a Brahma Rakshas.
So it's an interesting model. It's a very different model from the one I described. See, I am trying to, what I have explained tries to solve the problem of what the couple wants, right?
Correct.
Because they get the wrong thing. You are trying to solve the problem of, can whatever we want to give, is it available at one place so I can do it easily?
Yeah.
That's a good idea. It's a good possibility. My only concern, I must tell you, is that again, potentially you will compete with huge guys like Amazon or Flipkart or Mukesh Ambani's JioMart, right? Where they will say, "Arey, ये तो बहुत बढ़िया business है, हम भी खोल लेंगे." And then the kind of discounts they can get, and therefore the prices they can give will be much lower than the prices you can offer. However, one clarification, if Amazon wants to get into this, so let's say Amazon wants to create one section on wedding gifts in India, not a registry. Now it's a different model. Now it is Ridhima's model. So what Amazon would do is they would say, look, rather than building this up from scratch, if somebody has already created such a thing and it is going successfully, let me buy them out. I will buy 40% shareholding in that company, and therefore I own it. And whoever is the founder of that, he can run the subsidiary, right? That's possible. So yes, you're right. That's a completely different business model, but it is doable. Unfortunately, in fact, I think there are such sites available.
Is it? Because
I think there are.
what I've also come to realize after all this research is that, because I had to do this research, is that ये जो compulsory gifting का फंडा है, इसमें the Maharashtrian norms are different, South के norms are different, North का
इंटरनेट
norms
पे
are
जाओ,
different.
आप
So
इंटरनेट पे जाओ, just go
हाँ,
on to the internet and do a search. You'll get lots of these. For example, there is one site called Wed Me Good. It's called Wed Me Good. I
okay.
think that has all these, many of these things.
So
Just
it becomes investing that time in hunting for things has become,
no, I agree.
especially in the lockdown, where
Agreed.
you
Oh,
can't go to a shop.
absolutely.
It's
Correct.
become like a different struggle. So maybe these
Absolutely.
people could use this time to launch something like that. Because
Oh, yeah.
funnily, no one wants to not get married because it's a law. I tried, but no one wants to not do it. So that is not going to happen. So I don't think the business aspect of it is going to go away.
Correct. No. See, in India, weddings are always a huge business opportunity. So I agree with you. I think there are lots of sites, but I don't know any of them because I got married almost 40 years ago. So, I mean, I don't care. Even my kids got married many years ago. Okay. Any
That
other?
was my only question. Is something reverse possible? So you're saying because once
Sure.
again the entry barrier will remain.
Entry barrier nahi hai, but see, I'll tell you. Entry barrier nahi hai, especially compared to big guys like Amazon and Flipkart. But as long as you're small, they don't care. They will
Right.
not get into this business. As you grow, rather than trying to compete with you, they may buy you out. And that's a very common phenomenon. So let's do that. So I think there are lots of these chota guys around and you can check out for your wedding. Anyway, well done. Congrats for your wedding.
No,
And
thank you, sir. Thank you.
because of that wedding, keep all 3 cartons. That's a wedding gift from everybody on this chat.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else? Anybody?
I don't think.
No? One of the girls, I mean, except for, I think Preeti spoke once. Everybody else is, I
I think
think,
Sushmita wrote a couple of times.
no, I
Because
think the
she's not
girls are
able to.
very, very busy planning for their weddings. I think that's the problem. अभय ने तो बोल दिया girlfriend नहीं है तो अब और
I
झूठ
was
क्या
busy hungrily listening for a solution in case there is one, but it's a failed business. So
no. So this is, hold on, this is a failed business, but
right.
there are others which may have succeeded. There are others which may have succeeded, and you can check out. Just go onto the net and look for wedding gift registries. I'm sure you'll find some.
No, my mother won't allow it, sir. It's okay. Like you rightly said, she won't allow.
नाक कटवाएगी
Nath
family की.
and plus she'll be like, now people will feel obligated to give. If
वही
you
ना,
give
you
that
can't
option,
demand a
yeah.
gift. You can't demand a gift.
Yeah, can't demand.
हाँ जी, any other questions? Anybody? Very quiet group, except 1 or 2 people. Abhay and who else spoke?
I think Aniket sir spoke.
Aniket, where is he?
He's
Aniket
here.
sir. Oh, you're a faculty, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, acha. Sorry. But actually,
he,
even
But
faculties,
he's also
are into it,
pursuing
right?
his own business idea right
yes,
now. He's
Oh, acha.
building it. He's in pre-incubation. So
Oh, okay.
he's doing both. He's a student and a teacher simultaneously.
Acha. That is good. You should
Yeah.
always remain a student.
Yeah.
Always
some
keep learning.
students have typed something on chat box. I guess
Is it?
that was in between the discussion, I guess.
Let me just check. Network
Replying
issue.
to some of your questions.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Sushmita and
yeah.
Okay, so if there are no questions, then we end.
yes.
And
I had a question,
who's that?
Sir Abhay.
Bhai, bolo.
Sir, let's say that we are currently we are also pre-incubatees, so we have a business idea. The business idea is that we are working as a aggregators of a service, and there are many competitors, but no one has a very humongous scale, and everyone is operating in a niche. So entering that market, according to you, would be a great thing, like because on our analysis that yeah, it's a great thing, and we can become the market leaders in some time.
So tell me what, aggregator or what?
So basically, it's like we are working as a HR as a service. For example, what we'll do is we'll create a database, we'll filter all the candidates, and then the HRs of the company or the startup founder can come, access our database, and enter the skill set which he wants in the students.
Okay.
And then we'll create a match. And if he wants, he can also like ask us to take a separate interview in the later stages.
So I'll give you 2-3 comments on this. So you spoke about the recruitment, right?
Yes,
As
sir.
one example. Now you have a very large number of people who are already doing recruitment. Lots of people, right? Obviously, you have the huge guys like Naukri, correct?
Definitely.
But then you also have a lot of smaller guys. For example, there is one guy who used to be my student. It is called Unnati. Unnati is a small setup which does recruitment for startups, right? So you have lots of guys, one-man shows, two-man shows, lots of them, one-woman shows. So the point is, if you are to compete in this environment, I'm not saying you can't survive. All I'm saying is you will find it tough because there are so many other guys in the market. So ideally, you should have something unique which the other guy does not have. Now, what can that be? I'll give you a couple of examples. Just 2 days ago, there was a person I was talking to. He also runs an HR company of the kind you've spoken about. He says, I will use artificial intelligence or machine learning to automatically look at the resume of a person and the job profile and to try and figure out the best matches. Now, that is not common right now. It's not common. It will probably become common 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the line. But if you start doing that, the benefit is that you're giving far more focused and far more uh, good, relevant resumes to the company for interviewing. And therefore, you're saving the company time. If you can do something a little unique like this, then yes, you have an entry barrier. And the big advantage of machine learning, I assume all of you are familiar with machine learning. The big advantage of machine learning is that as you get more and more data and therefore you analyze more and more resumes, the accuracy of the match becomes better and better. So for the other guy, the competitor to compete with you, the reason, he can't compete with you till his accuracy is also reached your level, but he will also take many months to reach your level. By then you are again several months away. Correct. So that's one big advantage of machine learning. Your accuracy and therefore your entry barrier increases with time. So I'm just telling you, if you are to be in a space like this, then you have to offer something which I'm saying every recruitment agency will survive. I'm not saying they will not survive, but can you become one of the market leaders? Can you grow dramatically? I would say potentially you can, provided you're offering something different. And that's your entry barrier. That should be your entry barrier.
A sort of USP, that's what we call it as.
Exactly, USP, correct. There has to be
Yeah,
some USP, and that USP has to be something which is not easy to copy.
yeah, true.
Exactly, USP.
Thank you very much for your suggestions.
Chalo, most welcome. And when you become a unicorn, Abhay and Aniket, please don't forget this session. And remember the chocolates I
Yes,
gave
of
you,
course, sir.
or I almost gave you. Now, of course, they are with your professor.
I'll send them across for sure. They'll reach them. Okay, so if there are no further questions, I will like to call this session to a close. Sir, thank you so much. It was a great, insightful session. And we have quite a few people who are watching it on YouTube as well. So, in case we get any questions from that end, we'll forward it to you at a
Sure.
later date and we'll get those solved. Sir has shared the link for the books. So, okay. One more person has now just typed a question. Sir, can we take this one?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
What is the question? Let
I
me
have a
just see.
question related to mobile industry. Can you please give your views on the following? Okay, what question, beta?
Following, there is nothing typed.
So, ask your what related to mobile industry. How will sir answer? Unmute yourself and ask the question, please.
Yeah. It's better you ask
Yeah.
directly.
Who is this? Realme 6i.
They've not renamed their phones. So
नहीं, पेरेंट्स ने कोई तो नाम दिया होगा. अपना नाम बताओ प्लीज.
So Realme कौन है पता नहीं है इसके पीछे.
sir,
Mobile industry.
is mobile industry scalable?
No, 1 minute. What do you mean by the mobile industry? Are you talking of people who manufacture mobile phones? Are you talking of the service providers like Airtel or Jio or Vodafone? Or who are you talking about? Who are you manufacturing? That means guys who make mobile phones. Yeah. So yes, any product which can be mass manufactured is a very highly scalable business, right? Service business is not scalable, right? Because service business means you want to double revenues, you have to double manpower. For example, a very simple example, a beauty salon. You want to double your business, you have to double the number of beauticians and you have to double the number of locations. That is not so scalable. But here in a factory, since this is not manpower dependent, yes, you'll have to add a few more workers if you want to work, let's say 2 shifts or 3 shifts. But if it's a standardized product, it can be mass produced and sold. So yes, any standard product is it's a very highly scalable business.
Sir, here I also had one question.
Hanji, please.
As you say, being in a service industry, scalability is not possible. But if a service is something like a web-based solution, it's a website aggregator.
Yeah.
So can't it, like a manufacturing sector, can't it, because it's going to be the same website and they can keep adding more and more people. At the most, they will have to make a little stronger website as traffic increases.
Right.
So can't that be more scalable?
Okay. So
Though it is in service sector.
Yeah. So let's take an example. Suppose, let me take the example of, for example, education. Okay. Education is service, right? So let's say you have teachers on the website and those teachers are offering sessions, classes, tuitions, whatever, right? Projects, etc., etc. The problem is, okay, it's a slightly complex answer. If you have to have a large number of teachers, getting them onboarded is complex, right? But if you can use freelance teachers, so people who are not employees, then expanding from 100 to 1,000 teachers is no problem. Expanding 100 employees to 1,000 permanent employees is a huge problem. But expanding 100 freelance teachers who are simply, they're teaching somewhere else and in the evening they take some classes for you and they get paid per session, right? That is not an issue. So if you have that, yes, that becomes much more scalable. Secondly, if you can convert more and more of your content, of your sessions into automated stuff, for example, animation, for example, online quizzes, which are automated, that makes it more scalable. So essentially what I'm saying is the moment you have more and more manpower involved, your scalability comes down. But if you can take freelancers, you're okay. More automation you have, the more scalable it is.
Correct. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Welcome. I think there was somebody else. when there is a product, hold on, Shreya Gupta. When there is a product business, what can be the possible entry barriers for a new product in market? Because companies who have high financial and good manpower can easily copy the product and advertise it on a high scale. And okay, take an example, Shreya. I mean, this is too general. Take an example of a product.
Sir, while Shreya writes, I just wanted to go back to the mobile manufacturing issue. So it's a standardized product. I agree to what you say. But nowadays, the rate at which they come out with varieties in the terms of their look and their shape and their, I mean, let's leave the software of it outside because that's something you can essentially put into. But there is so much that goes with even the look of that phone. And I know people who are heavily invested in it. So they actually care about what their phone looks like.
So just to
And
clarify, sorry, just to clarify, when I say standardized, essentially what I am saying is anything which is mass produced. For example, if you look at, let's say, Apple iPhone XR or Apple 11, right? iPhone 11, right? Or 12 or whatever. That is mass produced. It will be lakhs or maybe millions, maybe more, right? If you look at Samsung, you'll probably have crores because that's a cheaper phone and therefore the masses will probably pick it up, right? So yes, you will have lots and lots of different variants coming out, but each variant, it's not that you're customizing each one for every customer. You're not doing that.
No, correct.
You have lakhs, millions, crores coming out. Mass produced, automated factory, very highly scalable. The moment you have, for example, if you look at the garment industry, where every garment is specifically tailored and customized and designed to suit the requirements of the customer, that's a terribly non-scalable business because it's just too manpower dependent.
No, I was just thinking about the feasibility of really scaling, especially these new gadgets things, because the rate at which people want to change or what is fashionable today is immediately out of fashion by next week. It's like a Friday to Friday fill. So before buying, everyone is waiting for the better model to come, for the newer version to come, for the better looking one, this color, that color. So to mass produce something and keep, is it a risky business or?
So first of all, you will not mass produce for the next 6 years. So if you look at something like electronics, let's say phones, you took the example of phones, you will not mass produce for 6 years, but you will definitely mass produce for the next 6 months, right? However, and this is a very interesting comment, I had once been to the Intel factory, the Intel head office in California. Okay, Intel, as you know, makes the chips which go into laptops. So I was talking to the R&D, the head of R&D. He says the chip that you right now have in your laptop is already 2 generations obsolete because we are making sure that we come out with a better chip and therefore you demand that better chip. If we don't, you will be very happy with what you have and therefore you will not buy from us again, isn't it? You will never upgrade your laptop again. So the important thing is you are saying the customer wants something new. I'm saying even the vendor, the manufacturer, always when you are developing one, you're selling it out, sending it out into the market, you will always have the next version and maybe even the next version in R&D or in production. So you will then swarm the customer and say, "Arey boss, तूने iPhone 12 लिया है, तो पुराना हो गया, 1 साल हो गया, अब तू 14 ले." And the bugger will say, "हाँ boss, I mean obviously I have to buy 14. How can I impress my girlfriend otherwise?" Right? So you're right. Not only does the customer demand it, even the manufacturer ensure that the customer demands it. That's how business functions.
Right. I think Shreya has not yet written her specific question.
Yeah, so I don't know what that question.
If she sends it to me, I'll forward it to you.
Yeah, sure.
Shreya, you can write it to me, no issue.
Somebody has one more question.
Okay, Realme.
That person's name is Realme.
Okay, this is the last question we are taking.
But please show your face, Realme.
Yeah, and
Realme
tell us
cannot
your
be the
name. Calling you Realme has become very awkward for all of us.
I cannot imagine your parents calling you Realme. मैं तो अपने लैपटॉप को भी Realme नहीं बुलाता हूँ. Please show us your face.
Yeah. First, show us your face, tell us your name, and then ask your question.
Finally.
Kai re, what is your name? Real me Kai.
No, I forgot to change the name.
Rename it. Okay.
कोई
What
बात
is
नहीं.
your name, beta?
Shivam.
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 Okay, great.
Shivam,
That's
bolo.
a nice name.
I have a question related to this only mobile industries. If any Indian companies come with a good processor, good standardized, giving a 10 to 12,000 phone and having the features of 4 GB RAM, 128 storage, and the latest processor, would the Indians able to buy that?
Sorry, what? I couldn't hear you. What is the question? If an Indian company were to come out and manufacture
asked-
phones?
Yeah, he says if an Indian company comes up with a phone in the range of 12,000, say 10 to 12,000, which has all the features of these other big giants are offering in terms of memory, in terms of storage capacity, etc. Will the Indian people buy it?
Okay.
Because it will be pocket friendly, and I think that's what he wants to check, but
Yeah.
not branded yet.
Yeah. So let me put it like this. When you look at a phone, achha, by the way, I think you'll have to mute yourself because there is a lot of disturbance. Okay. So, when you look at what goes into a phone, there are multiple things. First of all, there is all the electronics, all the chips. Okay. The problem with these chips is you have to manufacture them on a very, very large scale. Otherwise, you cannot bring down the cost. And unfortunately, in India, there is no facility to manufacture those kinds of chips on a mass scale. There is no such facility. These facilities typically exist in places like the US or China or even Taiwan. Taiwan, in fact, is a place which is famous for making chips in bulk and at low cost. Right? So we import a lot of our chips from Taiwan. So that is one part. Now, having got all the components, and obviously you'll have to import the components if you want to make it low cost, you'll have to assemble it. Okay. Assembly is not a problem because you can set up a plant where, this thing can be automated, not an issue. Third is the branding, right? The issue is that today's customers are very, very solidly brand conscious, very solidly brand conscious. So my guess is you will have a lot of people who will say, boss, I will go in for the proven brands because I don't want an unreliable brand which fails and then I don't know repair hoga nahi hoga, service center hai ki nahi hai. You have to have that entire infrastructure. You have to have service centers in every city, multiple service centers. So in Delhi, for example, if I live in South Delhi, I shouldn't have to travel 30 kilometers to get my mobile repaired, right? And my mobile should not conk out repeatedly anyway. Right? So brand support, servicing, infrastructure, all that also becomes an issue. And therefore, I would expect a lot of people would still go in for the brands. My guess is that you will have some people, enough people, definitely, who will go in for a cheaper option. But again, the likelihood is that they will probably keep asking their friends, boss, तूने लिया है? कैसा चल रहा है? रिपेयर करने में प्रॉब्लम आई, डाउन तो नहीं जाता, सिग्नल ठीक आता है, etc. etc. So as long as you can take care of these things, I guess there will be a market amongst the less rich people. I mean, let's say the lower middle class. But incidentally, the other interesting thing, and I must tell you one more story. There are two students of mine. They have started a very interesting company called Grest, Grest. What they do is they sell refurbished phones. Apple का phone है, Samsung का phone है, LG का phone है, right? But they have picked it up second hand from the market. They have figured out what to repair. They make it look like new and they sell it as a refurbished phones. It's like Cars 24. They sell refurbished cars. These guys sell refurbished phones. That is doing very, very well. The big advantage of that is that it is still the old brand. So if it's an Apple phone, it remains an Apple phone. If it's a Samsung phone, it remains a Samsung phone. But these guys, Gref takes, they give a warranty for some 2-3 years, right? So you're still getting a Samsung phone, except that it's like getting a Maruti car, which was pre-owned, second-hand Maruti car, but refurbished. So it looks like new. So my guess is That will become a very large industry as things proceed. But yes, the India is such a huge market, 130 crore people. Any such product you have, as long as the price is low, you will have enough people who are willing to buy it.
Thank you, sir, for your
Sure.
views. Because I am entering the market and I'm just 17, so I am thinking and getting the views of some greater people who have the knowledge about the market.
So you want to manufacture?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good, wonderful.
Getting into the market, I am just 17 and I have started the search at the rate of 12. After 4 years of research, I have come on the
But Shivam, it's very difficult to compete with all these bigger names because
but
here volumes are the issue. Cost depends on volumes. You have to mass produce. You can't produce a few pieces and then hope to charge a low price.
to China first, and I have just mailed them. They have told me the cost of giving the processor, battery, display at around the cost of 3,000 everything. And if I assemble it in India, it will cost me around 5,000. So then I can sell it at 10,000.
चलो बहुत बढ़िया try करो. Then you can give everybody chocolates.
Yes, sir. Just getting the views. Not started yet, but we'll be starting in a year.
Okay.
I complete my 18 years.
Good luck to you, Shubham, for this. And if we can help out in any way, please do get in touch with us. We are always eager to.
Please give one phone to Ridhima as a wedding gift.
Phone will manufacture. So
But वो phone चलना चाहिए.
yes, making it. Yeah.
So thank you so much, sir. Thank you for such an enlightening session. It was great fun. Whatever queries I get in terms of the questions, also in terms of the books, I'll keep forwarding it to you.
Sure.
And it was a pleasant, great morning to noon uh, crossover that we have had with you today. And I'm grateful. What else can I say? I hope we can get connected again sometime
Sure,
soon.
of course. Sure. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm ending this session. So if anyone wants to start leaving, you can leave, or you'll all get disconnected automatically anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye, sir.
Okay, thanks. Bye bye.
End the meeting.